one on Lexie Hall got me riled up because this was early on in the game, and this was probably the best defense that Lexie could have played. If you watch this play here, she has her hands straight up. Like, this is really good defense that Lexie played here.
All the injured players to not just cheerlead, but also to give advice to all the newbies. Big block by Powers.
Good help side by Aerial Cow.
The WNBA just witnessed one of the wildest playoff twists in recent memory. And for once, the refs had nothing to do with it. Instead, it came from a player who had the roughest game of her career and still managed to flip the script in jaw-dropping fashion. This is the story of how a squad missing 6 key stars, including the league's golden attraction, Caitlin Clark, somehow engineered a miracle that's left the entire WNBA stunned. Was this the most clutch defensive stand we've ever seen in women's basketball, or just a once-in-a-lifetime stroke of luck that kept the franchise alive? Drop your take in the comments, because what you're about to witness is nothing short of unbelievable.
Are a tough bunch of I mean, I cannot even put into words how proud I am. It's like the toughness that it takes, like the gut checks that it takes. Like, y'all, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because we've been through all of it, right? Yeah. So it doesn't matter the circumstance. It doesn't matter the score. It doesn't matter the time. You always put your best foot forward. You always get to the next play. And it's always someone different.
They were finished, or at least that's what everyone thought. Let's be real, this was a setup to fail, a cruel test dressed up as a playoff series. Win or go home. 6 players gone. 6 wiped out by injuries after a season already poisoned by referee blunders that felt less like mistakes and more like punishment. The Indiana Fever weren't supposed to have a chance. They were supposed to roll over, take their beating, and disappear. But instead of a funeral, we got a rebellion. Game 3, WNBA playoffs. On the road in Atlanta, facing a fully loaded Dream squad in front of nearly 4,000 fans who wanted blood. This wasn't just a basketball game, it was an execution, scheduled live for the world to see. And remember, this franchise hadn't won a playoff series in almost a decade. The last time the Fever mattered, Tamika Catchings was still playing. That was 2015. A different league, a different world. Now here they were, dragging themselves into battle with a roster that looked more like a MASH unit than a playoff team. Caitlin Clark, out. Sophie Cunningham, gone. Sydney Colson, sidelined. One by one, their best weapons had been stripped away. No firepower, no depth, no hope. On paper, they should have been buried. But that's the beauty of desperation. When you've got nothing left, the only option is to fight. From the opening tip, this wasn't basketball. It was survival. The refs were already under fire after the phantom whistles of Game 1, and you could feel the anger radiating off the Fever players. This was more than a playoff series. This was payback. Kelsey Mitchell carried them like a one-woman army. Calm, collected, and deadly, she poured in 24 points, 19 of them before halftime, just to keep the Fever breathing. Double-teamed, trapped, smothered. Atlanta threw everything at her, but she refused to fold. Meanwhile, Aaliyah Boston was locked in a war zone, matched up against the bigger, stronger Bree Jones. She took hit after hit in the paint. 14 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists. It looks clean on paper, but the reality, every rebound was wrestled from a crowd. Every assist a lifeline to a teammate hanging on by a thread. Boston anchored the chaos like a veteran twice her age. Then came the reinforcements. Odyssey Sims, who hadn't even been with the team all season, exploded for 16 points and 8 assists. She attacked the basket with zero hesitation, injecting the Fever with pure adrenaline. Brianna Turner, normally an afterthought in the rotation, turned into a defensive wall, altering shots, cutting off lanes, doing all the gritty work no one notices until it's gone. But in the middle of this fight, one player was crumbling. Lexie Hull. It wasn't just bad, it was a meltdown. Wide open looks clanged. Jumpers rattled out. Every miss got heavier, louder, more painful. She had already been ice cold all series, shooting just 26%, and tonight it somehow got worse. You could see the frustration breaking her down in real time, her confidence collapsing possession by possession. On offense, she was invisible. On defense, she was hesitant. She was a ghost, and on the biggest stage, with her team fighting for survival, she looked like she didn't belong. But then, everything changed. Under 30 seconds left, left. The Fever trailing by 1. The Dreams crowd at full roar. Pressure so thick you could feel it through the TV screen. And in that exact moment, the forgotten player, the one bricking all night, was about to write the ending no one saw coming. That's when Kelsey Mitchell cut through the defense and dropped a clutch layup, giving Indiana a slim lead. But Atlanta punched right back, and in an instant, the Fever's hope felt like it was slipping away again. Then came the possession that no one could have predicted. The ball whipped around the arc and ended up in the hands of the one player everyone in the arena was silently begging not to shoot, Lexie Hull. She had been ice cold all night, her confidence battered, and yet with the season hanging in the balance, she rose up and fired. Bang! A three-pointer that wasn't just a bucket, it was redemption in its purest form. A jolt of electricity that ripped through the building and gave Indiana life when they needed it most. But the story wasn't finished, not even close. With 7.4 seconds left, Atlanta had the ball and their season on the line. One clean inbound, one good look, and the Fever's miracle would be erased. The pass went up, the entire arena's eyes locked on the target. Everyone's except Lexie Hull's. Freeze it there. Look at her. She wasn't watching her assignment. She wasn't guessing. She was reading the passer's eyes, anticipating the angle, and then she pounced. No hesitation, no fear, just instinct. She ripped the ball clean out of the air. Season over, series done, a decade of frustration shattered in a single moment. That steal wasn't just a defensive play, it was a declaration. Injuries, bad officiating, stacked odds. Nothing could kill their fight. And just like that, the player who had been a liability all night became the unexpected hero of the WNBA playoffs. In the locker room, it was chaos. 10 years of pain and waiting boiled over into pure release. Kelsey Mitchell clutching teammates like she never wanted to let go. Aaliyah Boston breaking down in tears, finally tasting the relief of victory. And Lexie Hull, the unlikely savior, holding onto the game ball like it was treasure. Even Caitlin Clark, sidelined in street clothes, exploded with joy from the bench. Her tweet afterwards said it all. FEVERSHOW. All caps, no explanation needed. This wasn't luck, this was survival. A team that had been pushed to the edge and clawed its way back into the light. But reality doesn't rest. Head coach Stephanie White made sure of that. She reminded them this was only round 1, because standing in the semifinals was the juggernaut, Las Vegas Aces, Aja Wilson, Chelsea Gray, Jackie Young, a championship machine that punishes every mistake. And Becky Hammon wasted no time sending her own message. When asked about the matchup, she didn't smile, didn't congratulate. She delivered a chilling promise. They haven't seen the real Aces yet. She admitted her team had been in turmoil, that Indiana had even embarrassed them before. But now she vowed the Aces would lock in and handle business. The Fever had stared down 6 injuries, blown calls, and elimination pressure. But the next mountain, it might be their biggest yet. Up next is the measuring stick of the entire league, the dynasty that defines dominance. Indiana's storybook escape has bought them a ticket straight into the fire, facing a powerhouse that feels overlooked and is ready to remind everyone who runs the WNBA. The underdog fairy tale is now standing face to face with a machine built to crush hope. Tonight, the Fever proved that belief and grit can rewrite history, but with Becky Hammon's warning still echoing, the bigger question lingers. Did Indiana win a battle, only to walk straight into a war they can't survive? Drop your thoughts below. Does this Fever squad have a real shot at shocking the Aces, or is their miracle about to hit a devastating wall? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because the next chapter of this saga is one you won't want to miss.
Actually just referenced it twice. It is Indiana. Dropped 2 of the 3 games to them this year, but you haven't seen them since late July. What excites you about that matchup?
That they haven't seen the real Aces yet. They caught us when we were a bit in turmoil. Not only that, they whooped us one of those stretches. So, you know what? We'll buckle in, hone in where we can, and take care of business.
You talked about the desperation before game 2 on Tuesday. Just how does that carry over into tonight?
Well, I think anytime that you're a win or go home situation, there's desperation. And so it has to carry over. You know, we're in the same situation. Our back is against the wall. We got to come out and we've got to play with that sense of urgency. We've got to play with that hunger. We've got to value every single possession and every single opportunity.